we can't wait to get both of your takes on this first story. So, Black Eyed Peas star will.i.am, he struck a chord recently when he said that he feels kind of hurt when the band is not considered a black group, and he thinks it's in part because of their international success. So, what did you make of his comments around this?
First of all, how dare you? How dare you? Common sense, like first and foremost, if he was to say people don't consider him black because of the music he makes, okay, I understand. But the band, even without, let's even not put Fergie in. The band without Fergie, you are black, and the other two members are not black. I believe one is First Nations, the other is a Filipino man. So how would that make you black? And then the other person that you had in, the other singer, a female black woman, Kim, you got rid of her and then replaced her with a white woman and then put the focus on the white woman. First of all, I've got to say to Kim, she is such a queen. She handled it with grace. Her response, first she let her 10-year-old son speak. And when the children speak and say, why would I consider you a black group? I thought you were this pop group. I don't even, like, he was actually shocked when she played him their early stuff. And the thing that you want us to remember you for, you don't do that music anymore. It's a completely different genre. So why would we consider you that? And then to me, the biggest insult was he said the time that the Black Eyed Peas started, and it was after Kim had already been in the group. So you talk about this erasing of black women's contributions as if she didn't exist and the group did not exist. She was going on tour. They made records. How dare you? Even if you want to downplay her contribution, to act like she didn't exist is actually disgusting, and then ask for our love and support from other black women and men when you go and erase the contributions of another black woman. It's horrible.
I totally agree, Gemini. I think when we think of the Black Eyed Peas,
Juana, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh, sure. Yes. I totally agree. I think when we think of the Black Eyed Peas, we have to go back to the very origin. They are making urban music similar to Common's and the Mos Defs of rap and hip hop. But there comes their 2004 or 2003 album, Elefunk, and that featured the massive hits, Let's Get It Started. That was the NBA 2004 official anthem. It was featured in so many different commercials. It was all over the place, essentially. They even won a Grammy in 2005 for the best rap song performance for that. So I think we really have to consider, they made a major shift into a more EDM house genre, which we love house. Black people created house music, so it's not a problem there. But I think with Fergie's entrance into the group, it really did put the group into a different direction. A lot of people accuse Fergie of culture appropriation, rightfully so. It was similar to the Gwen Stefani's when Gwen Stefani came with Holla Back Girl. Then she had the Harajuku Girls where everyone was like, whoa, what are you doing? So I do think Fergie...
Juana, I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I totally understand everything you're saying, but I'm curious about what you think about the record executives part in this, because I watched that documentary with Kim Hill, and if you haven't seen it, it's a New York Times documentary. It's part of an Almost Famous series. And Kim Hill, she is such a queen. She's so beautiful, and she tells the story of how she met these guys when she was an up and coming artist, and they brought her into the group, and it was a really like a love letter in a way to the beginning of that relationship. And then you had these record executives who started increasingly asking her to like grind up on will.i.am and dress increasingly sexy. And she was the one who was like, I can't do this. This goes against myself. I don't feel good about this. And so she left the band. And so to me, this is part of the story, is also what the record executives decided that Black Eyed Peas would be. I'm curious about your thoughts about that.
Oh, 100%. That's why when I noted that they won a Best Rap Grammy, that doesn't make any sense. They weren't making rap music, quote unquote rap music, during that part. It was more so shifting towards EDM and also house music, like I mentioned. And I have no problem with house music that's created by Black people, but I do think that with Fergie's interest, like you stated, record executives, they always give, they always push like a white, say, pop or R&B artist to the forefront. And to be honest, shameless plug here, I created the word blackfishing, and it's always someone that's culture appropriating and presenting like they are a bit urban when their origins do not suit that. So I do think that when we say the record executives, they have a huge, massive part to play. There's a reason why we have been seeing a lot of people like Miley Cyrus when she did the whole Bangers era, and she had her image changed completely from her Disney image. So, it's a replication of a lot of non-ambiguous, but also Black people.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. I believe that the record labels have a huge part to play in how images are crafted. And sadly, a lot of Black women are ripped off when it comes to that.
Can I just give love for
said,
blackfishing the term? Because that was amazing. Blackfishing is everything. And even when it comes to the record labels, I totally agree that they have such a huge part to play. But Will and the other members of the group also still have to take ownership that they allowed that to happen. Because some of the other groups that he wanted to be loved and compared to in the same way the Black community uplifts them, I'm sure those groups have also had record labels say, hey, what if you brought in a white girl? Hey, what if you tried this music? Hey, what if you went EDM? And those groups maybe to their bank account's disappointment, but our love is still there. And, their pride in who they are probably said no. And the Black Eyed Peas said yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then you don't get to cry, as you're taking out your huge checks from the bank.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if will.i.am said what he said because sort of subconsciously maybe the alternative, which could be the reality, would have been really, really painful that your fans, as you guys are saying, your fans turned away from you, your Black fans turned away from you because of those changes that you made, replacing Kim, changing the style of your music. They lost interest. It's kind of seems to be you don't want to say that he made this situation happen, but it kind of sort of seems like, you made the bed, now sleep in it kind of deal. But I'm curious to know if you two, because you guys have both written about music, you've interviewed so many different people, would you guys have pushed back on Wyclef, who was interviewing will.i.am, after he said it as journalists, or would you have just, I don't know, let him go on?
I think Wyclef should have pushed back because, as Kim said, she was there and he was there at the same time. So he is aware that she was there. He's aware that those numbers don't make sense. He could have even referenced it. At least, again, it doesn't have to be hateful, but at least reference, well, what about this change? Or even when he said the group started after she was already in the group and Wyclef was there. But Wyclef also has a bit of the same problem. Sometimes he's more loved, but I think he didn't want to talk about it because he's also went into a different direction. So he probably was like, let me just step out of this before you guys turn to me. Because, that's how social media works. They go, if you say something, they'll say, well, what about you? What about your songs?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't expect another celebrity or musician to hold another musician, accountable for this. I expect the fans, the listeners, those on the internet, and they did just that. Twitter was ablaze, trending topics. People were cutting into them, rightfully so. And Kim, I believe, got some justice because people are really vouching for her. They were spreading clips of her talking about her experience in the group. So I'm very happy that Twitter, once again, and social media did their job. I love it. I love it here.